Hey yo, what? What? This is breaking news, obviously, guys. Right? I'm so shocked. Like I still got this shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even brush my hair or anything. I go on Twitter. First thing I see all of my Twitter feed. Everybody's talking about it. The Giants just fired offensive line coach MARC COLOMBO. This is the most breaking news I ever saw. They just fired the O-line coach out of nowhere after a game that we won. After a game where the O-line looked really good. The offensive line was improving. I've been saying it for a while now, since week 7, the first time we faced the Eagles and they got dominated. Since that game, they've been improving steadily each week. It makes no sense, right? Like, I'm looking every single Giants beat reporter saying it. NFL Update is saying that we fired I almost said Dave Gettleman. We fired MARC COLOMBO, and now we're bringing in Dave DEGUGIELMO in place of MARC COLOMBO. So here's the thing. MARC COLOMBO was one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, period, right? That's another reason this is so surprising. He built that Dallas Cowboys offensive line, trained it up to what it is. Dave DEGUGIELMO is probably right behind him or right ahead of him in terms of being one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, which is why it's like the firing is surprising. The replacement, it's like, I don't got anything against it. Like, this man, DEGUGIELMO, built that 2018 Colts offensive line. In 2017, the Colts offensive line was the worst in the NFL, ranked 32nd. In 2018, they were the best in the NFL, ranked number 1. So it's not like we're replacing him with any type of slouch. We're replacing him with another great. We're replacing a GOAT offensive line coach with another GOAT offensive line coach. And the thing is, the Giants actually interviewed Dave DEGUGIELMO way back when they were going through the coach hiring process and trying to figure out, you know, who the new position coaches are going to be and whatnot. Joe Judge actually interviewed DEGUGIELMO already. So they already have experience with this dude, but we ended up choosing MARC COLOMBO over Dave anyway. So it's like, it brings back to the question, what? And why? Why did we fire MARC COLOMBO? The offensive line is improving. It's not like he's done a terrible job. Yes, at the beginning of the year, it looked pretty bad, but so did everything on this team. Everything on this team looked pretty bad at the beginning of the year. So I'm just wondering, this is something behind the scenes that we don't know about. Now, I've seen a couple other tweets saying that Joe Judge has been working heavily with the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? The Judge himself, he's been working heavily with the offensive line the past couple of weeks, which is why it's been improving, or part of the reason it's been improving. So what that tells me is that he's been working too much with them, and he's not supposed to do that, obviously. He's the head coach. He has head coaching duties. So he probably is thinking to himself, I'm spending way too much time with the offensive line for this to be effective, and MARC COLOMBO has to go, and he's bringing in Dave now. That's what I'm thinking, because I've seen tweets said that. I've seen other beat reporters say that Judge is spending way too much time with the offensive line as a head coach for this to be any type of effectiveness. But that could be the reason. I'll tell you what, at least they did it during the bye week. You know what I'm saying? At least they did it during a week where it's going to be, you're going to have some time to somewhat transition. You know what I'm saying? Transition these guys. I hope DEGUGIELMO still has his stuff, because if I'm being honest with you, while MARC COLOMBO was okay these past couple of weeks, and then again, like I said, that could have been a lot of Joe Judge more so than MARC COLOMBO. The first 6 weeks were kind of disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. So I hope that when Dave comes in, he picks up right where he left off with the Colts. Damn. I'm looking at a Dan Duggan tweet here. You know, obviously this is Twitter, so the comments take with a grain of salt. Somebody's saying is that there's an insane story going around about a fist fight. I doubt that's it. None of these guys are fighting types. But then somebody else is saying what I was telling y'all earlier, that the improvement in the offensive line is not credit that should go to COLOMBO. It's credit that should go to Judge, who's been spending a lot of time with it. And he's been the one handling the offensive line personnel, and he's been handling it by himself, you know, these past couple of weeks. So it just goes back to show that MARC COLOMBO wasn't doing his job, man. He was not doing his job. So we'll see how this hire turns out, this fire and hire turns out, and let me know your thoughts. But there does seem to be some method to the madness. There is a reason here. And I expect more stories to come out as it develops, but looks like MARC COLOMBO just wasn't doing his job.